Welcome back to the Culture Currency, where we have an exciting day today. Today we get to look at the actual evidence, the results, the data between our generic silver over here and our world bullion coins. What we've looked at over time is figuring out if I did $100 a month here on the generic silver versus $100 a month on the premium bullion coins, what would it look like over time? And we're at the first quarter of year one. So we started this in January, $100 at a time. And I'm here to bring you the results of these findings. And I will say right out the bat, right off the gate, however you want to say it, I'm shocked. I'm a little bit shocked at the expedited way that the data is showing movement. It is nothing that has been reflected in the comments. It's nothing that I have seen predicted, at least not this early on. So let's go ahead and get to it, and we can talk about sources and methods of this study. But I will let you know that basically I'm still flabbergasted a little bit. So let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see on the spreadsheet, I'm going to try to do both here at once so that you can see on the spreadsheet our first month. We're going through generic first. We had a sale at APMEX and they were Christmas based. And so we have all kinds of Christmas based silver here. And so we had 3.5 ounces that we got for $100, and the spot was at $24.60, so very similar to where it is today. Our premium on this was right at $3.10, so I paid $27.70 for each of these three. And this half ounce, obviously with a little bit higher premium being a half ounce, we had $15.93 for this to round up that $100, and the premium on that was $3.63 for the half ounce. Order 2 comes around. I go to a local coin shop, and for $100 we picked up 4 ounces because spot was $23.88, and we got to do 4 coins for $100 roughly. It was actually a little bit over because I paid $26 each with a premium of $2.12 for each of these. Let me get them in frame, sorry. There they are. And then we had our next month, which had a sale at APMEX for leap year. And so I went ahead and bought these. And normally bars are more expensive than coins that I've seen, but these were the same price. In fact, they were a little bit lower. The spot was $22.55, so right at 22.5, and I paid $26.60. So $4.05 on these, which was my highest premium of the year so far. Lowest premiums being $2.12, and that was at the coin shop. So that gives you an idea of where we are on generic. We have roughly $309.43 we've paid on our generic. When we got to our premium bullion coins, this is where most of the community said, you know, there's no way you're going to get your money back on these, and nobody's going to buy them for that much, and you're not going to convince me that premiums on coins like these are going to be worth it. And for the most part, I was in agreement in my hypothesis, with the exception of time. I thought that maybe in 3-4 years the data would show that the premiums you paid on some of these would be erased and they would be profitable as the market would dictate that they were collectible. And that's what we're trying to get into with this study. So our first order, we ordered 2 months worth, so $200 worth. And the reason being is because that got free shipping, which made it a more equitable head-to-head. If I'm paying shipping on one side and not on the other, then it's no longer a fair fight. And so I wanted to make sure it was as fair as possible. So I basically did an order of 2 months worth of around $200 to make sure that we're close as possible. And for that, we were able to get this, which is an antiqued coin, spot being $24.42. Sorry, I paid $32.72 for this antiqued Jesus the Teacher coin, which means my premium was $8.30, so double the amount of the highest generic. We go next to the Sydney Opera House coin, right here. $31.16 is what I paid, with spot at $24.42, meaning a premium was at $6.74. We then go to the St. Helena macaque, beautiful coin. $32.20 is what I paid for it, Once again, spot $24.42, a premium of $7.78. We then got to round out a very interesting coin, and the reason I got this is because not all collectors are the same, and so I went ahead and got one of these things. I've never had one of these card type, I don't know what you call it other than a coin, but it's not quite an ounce. It's 0.46 ounces, so almost a half ounce, and I paid $31.24, spot 24.42, which means the premium on this was $19.03 for this 46%, not 46%, it's a 0.46 of an ounce. And so, being said, that's going to be an interesting one to show you about where does it sit right now, and was that a dumb thing to do as far as investing goes this early on. Very interesting. But I wanted to make sure I had diversity of product, because what I collect is not always the same as what everyone else does. So we did get a higher premium thing there. Here's a 2023 octopus from Barbados. I paid $30.64. Once again, spot was $24.42, which means we had $6.22 premium on this 1 ounce coin. We have the pelican, also from Barbados. $30.64 is what I paid. $24.42 spot, meaning $6.22 is in premium. The 2023 Barbados monkey right here, $30.68 is what I paid, and $24.42 once again spot, and that gives you a $6.26 premium. We have the Australian quokka, which was $30.77, beautiful coin. If you've seen my video over this, you already know what this is selling for. It's $22.55 was the spot, when I was buying this, which means $8.22, so a bit higher premium on that coin. We have the Neue Gutenberg. Oh, no, here's the Neue Gutenberg. Right here. Beautiful coin. Can't wait to do a video over this. $28.69 is what we paid, and it is selling, or sorry, not selling. Spot was $22.55. Premium is $6.14 for that ounce. Then we have the Kookaburra 2023, $30.77 I paid, $22.55 spot, $8.22 in premium. And to round out our very last purchase of these first 3 months of this first quarter, we got a half ounce of a 2015 Australian hammerhead. Really cool looking thing here. I paid $16.95. It is spotted at $22.55, which means I had to basically divide the price in half to figure out where spot was. And we're sitting at $5.88 in premium for this half ounce. So what does that look like over time? Well, if you look over here, we have generic price paid in $309.43. We have our bullion price paid being $326.46. So obviously a disparity is already rising, where we have $26 more in prices paid, and that necessarily doesn't matter, because I just try to get as close to a 100 per month as possible. But this next area, this next subset, is where things really take off. Average generic premium being $3.13 over these 3 months, which is not horrible, but it's also, it's not as good as my local coin shop, which put me at, $2.12. The average bullion premium was sitting at $8.09 per coin over here. $3, $8. That's a big difference. So our spot price, what we're going to do is put it at where it is today at the end of the quarter. $24.60 is what I've marked it at to get these price points. And so we're going to assume that every single one of these generics are going to be valued at $24.06 per ounce. And obviously when we go to sell something like this, we tend to actually go under spot to sell those. On occasion, you can get spot, but since these are generic, that's kind of one of the things that we need to look at. When we look at premiums, we have $30.67 on our premiums that we paid over here. And our bullion premiums, as you see, are $89.01. So that's way over double. $37 here, $89 here, almost $90. That's a huge disparity, and that's one of the things that we obviously look into, is does that mean that the value here does make this a worse decision? So now we have our generic weight in ounces. Over here we have 11.5 ounces, and over here we have 9.96 ounces. So once again, we see a disparity. We were able to buy more of this than we were this, which is logical. But that's not necessarily the end of the conversation, because when we look at our quarter one bullion gains and losses and our generic gains and losses, we see an interesting thing happening. All right, so here we are. Quarter one generic bullion gains and loss were negative $27.43, and most of that has to do with the premium that we paid on these right here. Whereas our government issued bullion coins, we're sitting actually positive $58.54 right here. How can that be? Well, we're going to go over that in 1 second, and how my sources and methods were on finding these values. So that means our total value here is $282.90, and our total here currently is $385. And that being said, I spent $326 here, and I spent $309 here. So let's take a look at how I found these items. When I go over here to Samoa, Opera House, all these on this second spreadsheet, what I did is I went to eBay, I went to online sources, Numista, all of these, to try to figure out where's that midpoint average, where are some numbers where these are selling at. I have the spot price here, I have the regular price, I have the premium, I have the weight that I've all calculated into this, and my quarter one findings are right here. So the Samoa Antique Jesus is selling for $37 consistently on eBay. The Sydney Opera House at $40, and I try to even find them if there were like multiple, a big variety of selling prices. What I try to do is find the cluster towards the bottom. So if I had a $52, a $26, a $27, $27, $28, then I went with $27 or $28, just to give the closest look at what these are going for. I wanted to be as fair as possible. The St. Helena macaque, $36. The Forget-Me-Not, that guy right there is selling for $40. $40. So that is crazy to me. And let me go back and tell you the profit. You can see it right here. The Antique Jesus coin, I'm $4.28 positive. The Sydney Opera House, I'm $8.84 positive. The macaque, I'm $3.80 positive. The Austrian Forget-Me-Not weird coin card thing, $8.76 positive if I were to sell these. Obviously, there's a what if there, and I'm not going to be selling them at a coin shop, but it's just very interesting. Barbados Octopus, $5.36 positive. Barbados Pelican, $5.36 positive. Barbados Monkey, $7.32 positive. That Quokka, it's one of the winners here, $9.23 positive. The Australian Kookaburra, $1.23 positive. The Gutenberg, $9.31 positive. That's our big winner right now. And the Austrian Hammerhead had a lot higher premium. I'm negative $4.95 on that. So as you can see, quarter one has shown us on eBay what people are buying them for. Obviously, you have to have some things be true for that to be the case, such as maybe timing or having the right buyer at the right time happen to be on eBay. I don't know. But this right now is way more positive than I ever thought we were going to be this early. I thought we were going to see numbers like this after a year or so. But we're already sitting at $385 value on $326 paid. That's $60 positive right here. And these are negative right now because you're going to be selling them under spot. And yes, I might have paid $1 or $2 in premium that necessarily I wouldn't have if I just would have went to a coin shop. But it's not going to be a swing of $75. That's silly. So that is the craziness right now that this study is looking at. I'm going to keep doing this. We're going to have every month building onto this and see if there's any other disparities that are lying as we go into quarter two, quarter three, quarter four Very, very exciting stuff. If you notice something that I missed, if I can help this study be better, anything that you can offer me in the comments will be beneficial so that we get the best information out for you to figure out on a long-term and a short-term strategy what you want to do, what's best for you. I don't have a dog in the fight. Obviously, I love these, but I like these a lot too. But I'm letting the data talk. So if you understand something better than me, if you see something that I've missed, please let me know in the comments in a very polite way so that I can make this better. But thank you so much for watching. That is all I have today. And as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.